Good day everyone, thank you for coming to the channel. Today I would like to showcase another Kicksin, and this is the Last Wish Kicksin. So this started with a different idea and kind of took a huge detour, but let me show you my gears and my itemization and the whole shebang in the bit of the story here. So for my weapon, I'm using a Last Wish in a Phaseblade. And this is the biggest problem because originally the whole inspiration began because of Lawbringer. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking at the the level 15 Decryfy. So this weapon is just like Reaper's Toll, right? But it's a little bit different because the Sanctuary aura. This is really good against undead. So when you're in Chaos Sanctuary, a lot of those mobs, they just pretty much stay stunned because of this. So it's a really nice weapon. So at first I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make it out of this. I'm gonna make a Lawbringer Kicksin. And I made it. And then I realized, if you guys see here, right below the life stolen, it says slain monsters rest in peace. So this really ruined me. And then after that, I put this on an Act 5 mercenary that I tried for the first time ever, and that wasn't good enough too. So right now, yeah, I'm using a Last Wish instead, which is definitely one of the recommended weapons for Kicksin as well, but it was like a little bit of unexpected change, and there are a lot of things that I had to do to adjust to this. So a couple things, right? One is the fade, as you see, 6% chance to cast fade on struck. So it's level 11, and what happens is that this overrides anything that you have on. So if you put on a fade, or if you, let's say, put on a burst of speed, this overrides it. So that kind of sucks. So in a way, you can't really burst. So that's that. And then it has this, the might aura. So might aura with Act 2 might does not stack. Is that whichever is just greater takes effect. Hence, Act 2 mercenary didn't seem as, good. But in the end, like, I settled like this for a reason. So let me go ahead and explain on as I show my other gears. So my chest, Enigma, Gothic plate, it's perfect roll in a 15 enhanced defense. And I'm using a G-face. And another thing with this build is max crush and blow. So I'm sitting at 100% right now, and G-face is one of the big contributors for that. And High Lord, deadly strike does not affect hit. However, I have this on for increased attack speed, and all skill health, lightning damage booster, and then lightning res. I mean, deadly strike is nothing, but everything else is, like especially increased attack speed. I need that. And for my shield, I'm using a Phoenix. And the funny thing is, with the kick, the enhanced damage off of the weapon doesn't apply. So the 381 is nothing, it's complete garbage. But enhanced damage from other sources applies. So this 397 will apply. And I guess the two main things for me is a redemption aura and the enhanced damage. Those are the two things I'm looking for out of Phoenix. And redemption aura is going to be my form of regeneration for mana and hit points. So that's why when it became this whole slain monsters rest in peace, redemption doesn't work. It doesn't proc. So it just completely defeats the whole purpose of having a Phoenix on. And also your Death Sentry doesn't proc. So two major components of the build just disappeared. And yeah. And for the boot, I'm using a Shadow Dancer because I don't need any more Crush and Blow. Like with this and my glove, yeah, I'm pretty done. So that's why I decided to put on a 225 Shadow Dancer, which is highest kick damage, and also gore when you up it, it is the same kick damage. And then BK ring, I had other rings of choice, but I figured I wanted more life. And plus skill does affect because of the number of the kick count. So that's why I chose to go with the BK ring. And Ravenfrost, nothing else. and Nas Coil, just for the speed. Life leads, pretty decent, I think, and then strength, pretty nice helper. And my 220 martial arts glove, and this has 8% crushing blow. So if you do the math, that's 8, 75, 35. So I mean, like, I'm sitting way over 100. So that's why, you know, yeah, it's really nice on the damage with that. And for my swap, 6/6 CTA with the bow spirit. And for my charms, I'm rocking a martial arts lifers as best as possible. And with my small charms, I have, and this one is perfect, 5 all resist, 7 MF. I'm trying to sell it on D2JSP, but I can't. And like, I have these many all res charms because I do need them. And then my Annie, you know, torch. So if you look at my stats, I have enough to wear the boot. And one thing is that as I level and get more strength off of, you know, Enigma, then I'll probably have to respec, right? Because I'll probably be sitting at like 170 something later, so just reassign points down, you know? And I put enough just for the 75% block on Dex, and then rest in the bit. So every time you level, you gotta check your percentage, and then, you know, put enough points to make it 75 again, and then put rest in the bit. And my res is not maxed out, but you know, it will be maxed out because I'm gonna fade. And with my talents, so first Dragon Talon, which is gonna be my main form of attack. I have 23 points in here, so that when I bow, I'll be at 5 kicks on the next level. And I tried out the max out version with the 7 kicks, but it's the timing, you know, like you get more damage, or more sheep damage here and all that. But like 7 kicks is quite a long of an animation versus 5 kicks. I mean, it's 2 more kicks. And you know, a lot of the procs, especially like procs from these, from what I understand, comes on the first kick, not on the following kicks. So more first kicks, more often first kicks you have, more chance you will proc these. So longer the kicks, I figure it's not as good. And so 5 kick or max, you know, one of the two. So take your pick, right? And then for my shadow, I maxed out Venom and Shadow Master. And I'm gonna use Fade, and when I bow it'll be level 12. And on the weapon it's 11. So by using this Fade, the way I see it, like, it doesn't really mess me up. Like if I'm using burst and if the weapon Fade procs, I lose burst. And I'll be geared with the burst style, but if the Fade procs, I mean, I'll be screwed. All my, you know, speed is gonna get messed up. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I'll just use this Fade, and when this Fade procs, I'll just have a level 11 Fade versus level 12. So I'll be losing 1 level, but at least like for me, it won't throw my I guess consistency out with my gears and itemizations and speed that I oriented towards. So it kind of sucks, but whatever. That's the price that, at least for me, that I'm paying for using Last Wish. And there are a lot of points left. That's one thing with the, you know, Kicksin, because you really rely on your weapon to do a lot of your damage. So the rest is really up for you to play, but the way I played, I maxed out Death Sentry, and I put 18 points into Fire Blast. Because if you look at the descriptions, it says 1 shot per 3 levels, right? Then, I mean, you know, these are not affected by plus skill talents. The soft points, which are the plus skill talents, don't affect these synergies. It's only affected by your hard points, which are the points you actually click into the talent. So 1 shot per 3 levels, okay, well, 6, 18, okay, well, you know, so I shot 6 more times. So it's kind of like making my Death Sentry like last longer, to shoot more, I guess. I mean, with a wider radius, so it covers more, and that really works out well for me. And as I level, I'm done with that too. So as I level, I'm putting more into Cloak of Shadow as necessary. So that's the kind of the explanation for my mercenary. it is my Reaper's Toll kind of style, but I don't have a plus damage and enhanced attack, increased attack speed join here, because the base itself is kind of meh. I mean, it's, 240 is max, this is 211, it's 29, it's like 30% below. Do I want to put an enhanced damage and increased attack speed join into this? Not really. So I just put a Shelver just to get the speed, so that I'll be hitting the breakpoint. I believe it would be 4.5 with this. So these two are pretty typical on there. And with my others, it'd be sitting around like 2.9 or 3. This is 2.3, but lower level, plus, I don't have an increased attack speed join here. But yeah, that was the kind of the whole shebang. And I have a cow room here. So let me go ahead and, do the cow, Diablo, and Bell. Okay, let me buff up. Okay, did I get everything? Yeah, sure. So, with 100% conversion ball, I can create like cold too. So, the way I see is like, this is a really good like single target damage, right? So there's such an emphasis on the crushing blow. So once I start creating quartz, like on PvE wise at least, that's it, right? The Death Sentry and the utility and the power of it, we all know. It's the same as Necromancer's Quartz Explosion, right? Which is pretty much a 1.1 wonder. Every Necromancer can have it. Same thing here. Death Sentry is such a 1-point wonder, and once I have like boosted its effectiveness with the radius as well as more, clock, just with all the corpse that that I can create, like 1-2, like really quick. Just it's a really deadly combo. See right there. It's like I laid out a few traps, and then boom, I just go at it. One thing I forgot to go over is the speed. So I'm gonna go back to town. Let me get some scroll a bit more. So here I'll just kind of burst and just move around in town. So I always have burst and fade in all my assassins, just in case. But yeah, let me go ahead and bring the speed calculator. Okay, assassin. And I'm using a Phaseblade, which is the fastest speed base. You got to, in order to get your hit, to hit your breakpoints. Yeah, here it is. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go to lane trap. Now, so what I know, I have 50. I have 20 here, 10 here, 20 here. So I have 50. And nothing on the weapon. Boom. If I go 45, okay, it's okay here. 40. Yeah. So 50, like, is pretty much at 45 too, but still, right? Because when I go into Dragon Talon, see, at 50 I'm maxed out, 45 I'm not. So 50 is pretty much the required. But as long as you're using a Phaseblade with 50 on the outside speed, you're good. But if you're using a Phaseblade with the weapon speed on it, that changes the calculation too, right? So anyways, yeah, this is why, like, my speed is maxed out. And I really like about that. I really like the fact that my speed is maxed out. The lane traps, and I mean, thankfully, like, because it also allows me to kind of synergize myself with with Last Wish. So it kind of works out. Because let's say like my gear set for some reason was reliant on using burst instead, then if my fate procs, like, I'm screwed. This really becomes bothersome. And another thing that I wanted to mention was about the weapon. So Reaper's Toll versus Lawbringer. So I was thinking I might showcase for the first time an Act 5 mercenary with this, but I finally fully realized how and why I should. And if you look at Lawbringer, the clock chance on that is 20%. And if you look everything full, the proc chance on that is 33%. And the level is different. The Lawbringer is like level 16, and this one is level 1. Yeah, level 1. So it's different level, and so based on the difference in the level, I believe the radius is different. I don't exactly know actually. I didn't look at it. But you know, regardless, the main function of Reaper's Bowl or Lawbringer being the proc effect, like 20% versus like 30, like 33%. Like, why am I even messing with it? Like this Lawbringer, I really wanted to play with it, but once I realized how much just does not synergize with my itemization and the way I play, especially with the RIP, rest in peace, the rest in peace effect, which I completely overlooked when I was first building it last week. That just screwed me up. At first I'm playing, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, how come my Death Sentry isn't proccing? I see all these bodies on the ground, how come nothing's happening? How come I'm not leeching? How come, like, okay, like, my hit points are okay, but how come I don't have magic? What's going on? I'm like, wait, like, I don't see the graphics of with the redemption, you can see it, right? When the leech happens, it's just like that, you can see it. I'm like, leech isn't, yeah, just like that. Leech isn't happening. I'm like, what's going on? I think I just found a bug. And I'm all like, oh my god, I gotta post this on the forum, and I gotta like make a video as a proof as to why this is like not working as intended. And I'm like, going crazy about it. And just right before I was just about to gather the data, the proof, right, to submit to Blizzard that there's a bug going on here. And I was like reading the descriptions again, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I was at a Korean website, reading about different type of Kicksin styles and what kind of weapons you can use. And I was like, wait a minute. Like, the guys, the way he described it too, he was like, oh, it's Lawbringer. Oh, if you use this, you get the proc effect, but you won't have, like, Death Sentry. You can't use Death Sentry. I'm like, what? Like, wait a minute, really? He's, oh, I'm so stupid. Like, I should learn to read. It says it clearly, like, slaying monsters, rest in peace. Wow, how stupid am I to have missed that. So this last wish kind of became like almost like a savior replacement when I failed with the Lawbringer. And but still, this is one of the specs that is viable, that is usable, and is powerful too. And for me, like, I have to mess with like almost like 2 different builds. Because, Kicksin is so reliant on the weapon, and I just mess with 2 different weapons in like such a short amount of time. Like, most of my itemization didn't necessarily change, but just the mental approach had to change. Because, like I said, with last wave, like, there were 2 critical effects that at first I didn't realize. Because first I did the burst style, and I'm like, okay. I'm like going around, burst it, and I'm like, wait a minute, what happens to Fate Box? And I'm thinking, is it gonna overwrite my burst? And I'm not sure about it. I'm like, okay, well, let's see. And then wow, it overwrit. I'm like, oh, fuck. So, but nevertheless, Last Wish is a powerful weapon. It gives you so much crushing blow. And so I found my way of, I guess, synergizing with my items and what I want to do and how I want to feel playing the game, and came to this solution, which may not necessarily be the best answer, but it's the best one I have at the moment, as of now. So right now, see, with level 12 Fade, everything's maxed out. So when the Fade from my weapon pops, I'll be at 82 on the fire. So that's one thing I noticed already. It's just such a like a make it or break it. Not for me. I just gotta make the best I can with what I got. This is the best I can. In a way, I'm thankful that I have this kind of awareness available to me that worked out. Yeah, I don't know how you guys might think about it, but I'm sure you have your own style and logic of playing. I've seen other people's user interface or like how they play sometimes, like different games. Wow, or other like online and it's very different than how I would set it up. So obviously their logic is different than mine. What I focus on, what I fixate on to make things work is different than mine. So, and I guess it's kind of like here too, right? The same idea. So, but besides that, once I got over those rollers, oh yeah, it rocks. Cause again, like I'm able to create so much force like so quick. I think, maybe not. But I mean, yeah, see, because it's 100% crushable, like things die pretty quick. And I have nothing that really freezes them except rain. So, it's pretty okay. Maybe I should think of build without a Raven Frost. I can never think of a melee build without a Raven Frost, but I guess for the replacement which cannot be frozen, just Cham Rune on your shield, But then that kind of limits your like options right away, right? Because already right there your helm is gone, like you can't use like a Runeword. You got to use a helm that you could put a Saga or put a Cham Rune basically. Cool. So there's that kind of restriction, but you open up your range. You can get something else than Raven Frost. Then what can you get besides Raven Frost though? I mean, Raven Frost gives you what? 20 dex, 250 all, attack rating, and it gives you mana and cold damage in a good amount. In rare ring, or you can get a unique ring like me, right? DK ring or maybe SOJ, if that works for you. But let's say if it's a rare ring, attack rating wise, 100 something if you max you can get. Strength, dex, life mana, resist up to 11, or specific resist if you up to 30. So I guess that's another way that I guess play with it, because again for me I have always fixated on using Raven Frost for melee. I never thought of just not using it at all. So another food for thought, itemization without Raven Frost for melee. What does that mean? This game, stupid game, 20 years is still going strong. Now, I wonder, how Resurrected will be. I see a lot of videos on YouTube. I don't watch them all, but I follow Rikers, so I watch his stuff every week to be up to date with whatever. But so far, it looks like the reviews are really nice. But I guess for me, I'm worried about, those other topics I had mentioned, like transmog or how some of the changes will be. Like right now, the big thing that people are talking about is a TCP/IP. So that was like for networking stuff, right? Like open servers, open, And right now, Blizzard said, yeah, we're not going to do that. And I guess, for modders, not modders too, but for those people who mod. Like, so for Median, I believe. Oh shit, my mercenary died. Like, Median is one of those popular bots, and I guess Project Diablo 2 kind of falls in one of them too. Like, if you cannot use a TCP/IP and do the private server thing, like, they can't test it. So, it kind of really limits people, I guess. And there's a movement to ask Blizzard to just open it up, not open it up, just make a claim that Blizzard will not sue these people if they do use it. There's a movement for that right now. So. Well, I hope Blizzard, they take it. I don't think it's a big issue, but who knows, right? They have their concerns and interests. It's different than ours. We can't understand them. Oh no, my mercenary, don't die again. If these guys are immune to fire, that's why. If you're immune to fire, because Death Sentry corpse explosion is fire and physical damage. If they're immune to fire, then yeah, of course they'll take less damage. this one is immune to physical and fire. Okay, that was it. Okay. And one thing I noticed with the map too, I don't know if it's because people moved around, but the map's not right in the middle like the classic. I noticed the map was like kind of on the corner, the right top edge, like right here, I guess. So I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, maybe that was like the default way too. So yeah, I wish the resolution could be, you know, definitely better. If it is, it would definitely change the experience of playing the game. Wow, huge explosions. Yeah, again, you know, when you like Death Sentry, it doesn't increase damage, but of course it doesn't need to. Damage itself is so crazy. This increasing this radius just, you know, makes it so much crazier like this. Yeah. Again, you know, even if you don't have it maxed out like I do, it is an ability of skill. You gotta have at least 1 point. And look at that. That's for my, you know, my shadow. Like a lot of people complain about these shadows, you know. It's like, so when I'm in a party, I don't even open it. I don't even summon it. Because I don't need to, right? I'm strong enough by myself. And I don't want her, like, you know, doing her thing, especially with the Mind Blast. MC the enemies, and then, you know, people hate that on the Veil Wave, right? Yeah, I know, so I try not to do that. Is it this one? No, oh my god. I don't want to take forever to move along. I'm Korean. Koreans are quick tempered. Gotta be now. Oh, you know, funny thing, like, I really found this funny. Like, so there's this phrase that if you say in Korean culture, well, actually people do. Korean news TVs, they say it every day, and nobody trips out about it. But if like other country people said that, it would be like nightmare, like something just horrible just happened, you know. And that phrase is like, you know, some newscaster in Korea would say like, oh, today, you know, throughout the whole country it was a rain. And like, okay, like what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is if you're like in China or America, and if the newscaster said that, then dude, we're like in, you know, it's like the end of the world, right? Because America is so big. Like same thing in China, right? I mean, these countries are huge countries. Like they don't have the whole country raining at once. Whereas Korea is a small peninsula. It's half of a peninsula technically. So if somebody's, so like for Korea to rain everywhere throughout the whole country, yeah, that happens. And that's normal. But that's not normal in China or United States. So that's why. Anyways, I leveled up too, so I should get some points somewhere. And then, follower, you know, we hope this is the right way. Oh no, I don't think it is. Yeah, it's not. Is there a way this is? No, oh my god. You know what, there's a way. I might have to pop. Okay. How do you, oh yeah. Oh. How to use map pack, so. Oh my god. That does not look good. Yeah, I caught it. Let me just. Oh my god, that's even worse. Wow. I don't know why I like this information. It's one of those days. It's a huge mess in here. Okay. But that's not everything. Oh, there's one there. Oh, there's some there. Okay. Clear that. That should be it. Okay, okay, let me put. Oh. No? Okay. That's what I talent wise. I was putting in Cloak of Shadow, which I never used once. But there's really like nothing, nowhere else to go, I think. Maybe Mind Blast? No. At least no for me. Because I have such a, you know, strong, like, single target ability, like, as soon as I get one down, you know, just, you know, Death Sentry just starts doing his thing, And just like dominoes on top of each other. Huge, just boom, everything just dies. Just like that. Oh, and my mercenary is never used this once, but it's a thorn mercenary. Because I get might aura here, right? 17. And I looked it up. I googled it. You guys can Google too about the might level. And there's actually a calculator for that. You can put your like mercenary information, and you can calculate it out for you. So based on that, my mercenary technically it's giving me around like level 26 might, and this is 17 might. And just the higher is gonna take effect. They don't add. So, you know, based on that, my best course of action was to not get a might mercenary. You know, I figured I'm regretting it. I don't need it. And I'm like looking at all the effects, and the only thing that I could consider to be most useful after that was the thorn. So yeah, I figure, okay, you know what, screw it, let's go with the thorn, you know, we're gonna get hit, and it's gonna inflict that damage and, you know, do something at least. So yeah, for first time using thorn mercenary. And look at that, look how fast it is. And the pop. Okay. 78%, so maybe if I maxed it out, my hit's gonna be higher, percentage will be higher, but I'm gonna have to deal with the graphic animation with the 7 kicks, which I don't like. So anyways, yeah, that was my Kicksin Last Wish Phaseblade. If you want to use Lawbringer, you're all welcome to do it, but just know that, you know, the RIP effect's gonna screw you. So you can't deal with like Phoenix, you know, or Death Sentry. So if you're okay with that, you know, and have enough leech physically for mana and life, why not, right? By all means. So but anyways, yeah, this was the build, this was the playstyle. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you very much, and have a good one.